Hi, everyone. Hi, Mel. Hi, everyone. We'll be entertainment while everyone's gathering in. Welcome. If you don't know me, I'm Isabella, and this is Mel. Mel is at the school, so she's the face of NYSD. You'll see her often when you come in. And I know I've spoken to a lot of you, but we're super excited about tonight, and being that Larglinda is one of our alumni. So I feel like it's really amazing that you'll get firsthand information from someone who graduated. Just be admitting people. Hi, Ashton, welcome. So I'm going to go ahead and put my email in the chat, and Mel will put her email in the chat, and we are here if you have any questions.
Hi, Esther.
Esther, how are you? Are you burning the midnight oil, Esther? I see you at work.
Yes, I'm burning the midnight oil as usual, just like Mel.
Oh, yes. We're spending a lot of time together.
What night are you teaching? Thursday, Esther?
Thursday night I'm here. What day is your class?
I'm Tuesday morning,
Tuesday morning.
right now till June, yeah.
Hmm.
But some Thursday we'll have to stop by.
Yes, definitely.
Okay. So just a little housekeeping while we wait for everybody to pool in. If you have any questions at all for Larglinda, put them in the chat. We will definitely answer them in the order that they're received. We did have some questions that came in previously, so we'll also try to get to those as well. All right, so while everybody's pulling in, if you have any questions, throw them in the chat. We'll get to them as soon as possible. If you are not at New York School of Design, we do have a new cohort starting June 28th. So if you're interested in either starting your fashion career, we have Fashion Foundations that's starting. And then we also have a new couture and menswear aspect that's starting on June 28th. So that's why we think it's just so timely and perfect that Larglinda is going to be here and discuss more about couture. And Esther, if we have to come to you for some questions as well, we're coming to Esther, our couturier, that's also here tonight. So it's pretty exciting, especially coming off of New York Bridal Week. Did you see anything, Esther? Did you see any of the shows?
No, I knew that some of it was going on, but I have not been able to watch any of it yet.
You haven't been able to pick your head up from where you
No,
are?
nope, not yet.
It's super exciting because New York School of Design students did the Sachin and Bobby show, and it was really amazing that, you know, everybody is returning to bridal and couture is just on the rise, and reemergence dressing and the trends that are happening. It's
And they say
exciting.
bridal is going to be big this year. You know, the jewelry stores are all, because everybody put it off. So the
Yeah.
jewelry stores are expecting an increase also.
Jewelry, the fashions. I mean, nobody could get married for 2 years. So it's back, and it's back in like a big way. It's
Yeah.
amazing. Yeah. And I saw it. I know Business of Fashion did a huge trend analysis talking about, you know, how huge it's going to be right now. Let me just make sure. Okay, so we'll just, as people trickle in, if you have any questions, anything that you're thinking about, you could throw it in the chat. If there's a question that you may have as it arises, feel free to put that in the chat. We'll answer them in the order it's received. If you need any questions afterwards, I'm Isabella, and this is Mel, and you could reach out at any time. We all are burning the midnight oil, so we'll usually answer within 24 hours once we hear from you. So maybe while we wait, we can show one of Larglinda's fashion shows from NYSD and
That would
from
be exciting.
New York Fashion Week. Yeah. So I'm going to go ahead and share my screen so that I know a few people trickle in from work. So let's just give them a couple of minutes. Don't mind all my tabs up.
Oh, there she is.
Oh, there's Larglinda. Hi, Larglinda. How are you? Let me pin
Sorry, I
you.
was muted. Hello, everyone.
Great to see you. Thank you so much for joining us tonight.
Good to see you too. My pleasure. I'm
And
very
Esther,
excited.
did you know Larglinda from New York School of Design? Did you know Esther?
Yes, I remember Professor Esther. Good to see you again.
So we have some familiar
Nice
faces.
to see you, and glad that you're continuing, and sounds like you're doing pretty good. So
Thank you so much. Appreciate it.
Yeah, it's really exciting. And we were just telling everybody that's coming in, we have some new students that are going to be starting Fashion Design Foundation. We have some students who are already in Fashion Design Foundation. And then, of course, some students that are interested in couture and menswear. So it's pretty exciting to have somebody who's actually gone through all of that with NYSD and to see what you're doing now and where you're going. I think it's very inspiring for them. And I know we already got a lot of questions that have been coming through. I let them know, Larglinda, that if there's anything that even that they're thinking about when you're talking, they're going to throw it into the chat. And then at the end, we'll have a Q&A and I will read the questions in the order that they're received.
Sounds good. I would love to answer any questions that I can answer. And I'm very excited to share my experiences with all of you.
That's so great. So I figured, would it be a good time to play your video as we're waiting? I know a few people will trickle in late. Yeah,
sure. We can give everyone a couple more minutes to just, settle, then we can start.
Sure. Well, It's 6:01. Do you want to just start introducing
Oh yeah,
yourself?
sure. Yes, of course. Yeah.
Yeah. So
Okay.
I feel like, how can I really do you justice? But I did want to let everybody know that, again, on June 28th, we have a new fashion design foundation for those people that just really want to enter the industry and don't necessarily know how to sew or where it is that they want to go in the industry. That is happening June 28th. We also have the certification program starting on June 28th. And that is for someone who has the foundational skills. And then we also have the professional program, which incorporates couture and menswear. And that's why we felt like it was so timely to really have you here, and so that they can see your full trajectory from where you started and what you're doing today.
Okay.
So without further ado, Larglinda Ilazi, and I'm gonna go ahead and have you share your screen so you can introduce yourself and show them what you've done. We're really excited for you to be here. Thank you.
Thank you. Okay. Can you just let me know if you can see my screen?
Yes, we
Yes.
can see it.
Okay, perfect. All right. So again, hello everyone. My name is Larglinda Ilazi. I'm very excited and happy that you could be here to just listen to. I'm very happy to share my experiences, and I hope my story inspires and motivates you to continue with achieving your goals or whatever plans that you have in the future. So this is me. I'm Larglinda Ilazi. I am Albanian. I was born in Germany, but was raised in Kosovo. Kosovo is my hometown, my motherland. I lived there until the age of 20, and then I moved to the United States for the main reason to pursue my dream, which was studying fashion design. So I moved here in 2014. And right a year after I moved here, I found out about New York School of Design, and I applied, and luckily I got admitted, and that's where my journey started. That's where my great first step of fashion design career started. So I
didn't know you just came here in 2014.
Yes, I moved
Wow.
here, yes, in 2014, and 2015, I started with New York School of Design. It was a great opportunity for me because my English wasn't perfect, and it just, it was a great thing for me to start because New York School of Design, also helped me with, everything, language, and also like the course itself. So I started in 2015 through 2016, which was, full time. And then in 2017, I did take an extra course. So during 2015 and 2016, I did design foundation, the design certificate, and the design professional program. The design professional program was something that, offered me so much. Offered me the opportunity to show my first collection for New York Fashion Week. As you can see,
so let me just let them know, Larglinda, if you don't know and you're not familiar with New York School of Design, we do have an opportunity for the schools, for the people that get their certification and go into the professional program. We do have an opportunity to show in New York Fashion Week. And Larglinda not only did that once, but you did it twice, right?
Yes, I'm going to talk about it. I brag about that all the time.
I mean, that's pretty amazing. Not a lot of people can say I've shown in New York Fashion Week. So I think that's pretty unique.
For me to move to a whole different continent and 2 years later to show my collection for New York Fashion Week, I didn't even dream of that. It was a dream come true for me. And it just happened so fast and so quickly. And I felt prepared because, I had people who also, helped me with the collection, my professors, and, when I went to New York School of Design, I felt like, because also I was spending a lot of time there, I felt like I was home. So
yeah, because we're small, so it's almost like a family, like we said, Mel's there right now. Sometimes we're burning the midnight oil, and you're making your collection, you can be there around the clock.
Yes, wow. That is so true.
There are students right now working on theirs.
I know how that feels, but trust me, it's all worth it. It's all worth it at the end.
It is.
So I included some pictures. So this is the first time ever I sewed an evening dress. They came out good. I am very proud of I call these my first babies. These are 4 pieces that I designed, and I made everything from scratch. It's also a photo shoot that we did at New York School of Design. And then I have here some pictures of the models with the dresses on the actual runway. My collection was a mix of laces, delicate laces, beads, and 3D flowers as well, 3D laces. I would love to share the runway show with you.
That would be
Just to
great.
see, yes, just to see, some more details of the dresses, like, on the runway walking.
I mean, the video was a little glitchy, but that is just so amazing.
I'm sorry. I didn't know that.
I don't know if it was or if it was just on my end. No matter what, we saw the movement of the garments and the music and the passion and the fact that So you didn't sew and you weren't making garments before you came to New York School of Design?
No, well, I mean, I did make dresses for my dolls, if you call that
Yeah.
so.
Yeah,
Like
yeah.
stitching, and I would just take my mother's clothes and just tear them apart and try to put something together for my dolls. But that was just my passion, just like I just wanted to come up with something. Nothing. I didn't learn to sew until I came to New York School of Design, the professional, the right way.
Wow, that's amazing. That's amazing. Gorgeous.
Just even now, how many years has it been? 6 years? No, yeah, 6 years. It just takes me back to, everything I felt during that show. And also probably, I'm not sure if any of people attending right now have done fashion shows, but to those of you who have done, the deal, the struggle. Everything looks so smooth and nice on the runway show, but in the backstage, the backstage sometimes can get
their hair
chaotic.
out.
Yeah, backstage can get chaotic sometimes, and especially, it was our first collection. I felt very nervous. I wanted everything. I like to things to be professional, like to perfection. So I just wanted everything to look good. Everything was great. It was my first collection. It was a very success. It opened many doors for me. It was just an amazing, amazing experience for me.
Wow, I
And
have chills.
me too. When I think about it, I'm like, oh my God, I was so new to all of that. And I managed to, create a whole collection by myself and, present it for New York Fashion Week was just something great. And then we continue with my second mini collection, which was a fashion exhibit in 2017. Sorry, I have a question. Do you see the whole screen, or do you see the like the window on the right side? Because it's showing me the window on the right side. I just want to make sure that you see all pictures.
Yes, we see everything. And
Okay.
it's amazing because I feel like you perhaps you knew what the color of the year of 2022 is going to be because you used it in this second collection. And for those of you that are just joining and didn't thank you, yes, we see it all. So for those of you that don't know, New York School of Design, you can either choose to do an exhibition or you can choose to be in New York Fashion Week when you do the professional program. So this was your exhibition, right?
Yes.
That you
Yes.
had within the school. Excellent.
The next year. Yeah, it was so here I made 3 pieces, again, evening gowns, a lot of handwork, a lot of laces. The first dress on the left side is a feathered corset with the feathers were sewn by hand. It was very time consuming. And the second and the third ones are just, silks and beaded laces and, a lot of attached hand sewing appliques to them. And then I have another slide here where you see the back of the dresses, that like the details of the feathers and the other dress. And also I took the chance to design a dress for me to match my collection. I did 3D flowers dress.
Would you say that that's your signature, the 3D flowers?
Yes, definitely. Yeah, I feel like that's my style. That's like a unique style that I love to design with. Also, this fashion exhibit gave me a lot of opportunities. There was a lot of press. I remember I had a social media growth from it. It was a great opportunity, a great, experience for me, just as it was the New York Fashion Week show that I had the previous year. Again, it gives me the chills when I think about it was my second collection. Also, it was a lot for me because I didn't have much time to focus on making the dresses, but I managed to do it and they came out good. It just, when you think about the experience, the things that you went through, and then you see the end result, it just makes you so proud, it just, you feel like it was worth the time and the struggles that you went through, when you see the results.
Mm-hmm.
So After the fashion exhibit, that was the end of my journey with New York School of Design. Again, I'm very grateful for that. If it wasn't for that school, I wouldn't have many other experiences that I had after that. I started the qualifications and the abilities that the school gave me really helped me, get jobs in the fashion industry and, just move forward. I, learned from other designers. I worked with other designers. And it was time for me to start something on my own. I wanted to start my brand and grow my clientele. That's when I started my online shop. I decided to do something simpler just because it's easier to sell like just blazers, but still with a unique style, with my unique design style that I have, like throwing some, beads and some sequins and some glitters to my designs. I thought these I didn't include everything. These are just few pieces that I thought would be an easy sell for, women, ladies who want to go out and, dress up, but not too dressed up. So this is when I started selling on my online shop. These are one of the first designs that I included. And this is my third collection. This was end of 2017, beginning of 2018. Well, maybe I could say half of 2018 because I designed many pieces. I designed 8 to 10 pieces. So I needed more time to, come up with the concept and, make the pieces, source the fabric and everything. But I'm also very proud of this collection. It was my third collection. It came out really good. Again, my design style, laces, delicate fabrics, beads, sequins. For me, it's very important to be part of the process, not just come up with the concept, sketch it and give it to someone to, sew my designs. I could do that. That's not what I prefer. That's why I feel like every piece that I make is different and comes out just exactly how I envisioned and how my primary design concept was. It's not just about coming up with the concept and leaving everything up to your team. I like to pay attention to every single detail. Like even when it comes to the photo shooting, I like to be there. I like to make sure that the dress is photographing exactly the way I envisioned it in my head when I started designing. So like even the editing and everything, I try to be part of it.
You're wearing a lot of hats.
Yes, overwhelming sometimes, but it's good. It's amazing. I love it. I started doing bridal after a while, and I realized that this is another thing that I love doing. And I also shifted my focus a little bit more on bridal nowadays because it's just something so special, just thinking that you're creating something for someone that is such a special day, you're being part of that day. It just, it's an amazing feeling. That memory is going to last forever and you're going to be part of that memory. You as the designer of the dress, you are going to be of the wedding gown, you are going to be, part of that memory forever. This is one of the first bridal dresses that I designed. The bride, she actually lives in Germany. So I just FaceTimed her. I asked her for the measurements. I told her, how to measure herself, and she sent me the measurements and I made the dress. I shipped it to her. She didn't even have to do any alterations. That made me just so happy. And she was in love with the dress. She loved it. Of course, especially when I make custom made dresses, I like to sit down and listen to my client and see what they like, especially if it's a wedding dress. It's something that, every girl dreams of, So I like to sit down and ask, how they see themselves, like what silhouette they want. And the rest, of course, they leave it to me, the fabric choice and everything. I go based on what they I go based on the silhouette, and I know what fabric to use that goes best for the silhouette they choose. So she wanted a mermaid dress, and she wanted a very like delicate like lace in the back. So I decided to do this design for her. And also this one has a lot of handwork in the corset because she didn't want lining. So I had to like attach applique on top of applique. So it looks like, the fabric actually looks like that.
And are you doing all of these by hand?
Yes, the applique, everything is by hand. I don't prefer to, I know designers who use glue and stuff, that makes the work easy, the job easy, but I don't prefer to use that because it just, especially if it's a wedding dress, it's something that you're gonna pass on someone else, it's something that is gonna be with you forever. And you don't want to use, other than what you're supposed to use, thread and a needle. This is another bridal dress that I made, is one of my favorites. It took me over a month to create this dress from concept to the final product. I love it because it is 3-in-1. So you have the princess style, where the bride wore it for the ceremony, and then she had the mermaid dress with this detachable sleeves for a different look for the photo shoot that she did, and then she had just a corset mermaid for when she went to the reception, and she was able to freely dance. So she basically had 3 dresses in one. The dress itself has over 20 yards of fabric to it. It is a lot. I enjoyed the process of making it. And when I saw the end result, and when I saw how happy and how satisfied she was with the dress, I said it was worth working over a month on just one dress, because she loved it. And that's what's important for me, especially when it comes to brides.
So that was detachable, that top
Yeah,
skirt.
the overskirt, yes, the overskirt was detachable, and the sleeves as well.
Wow.
So you can see here she has a dress with the sleeves.
Mhm.
Here she has a dress without the sleeve, the drop shoulder sleeves.
Yeah.
And this is another dress. The reason why I think this dress is so special to me is because I had to alter the fabric. The fabric didn't look like this. I had to cut it into pieces to make her vision, like she knew what she wanted. So I had to make her vision come true. Especially this part here, the texture, how I created this texture is by cutting the little 3D flowers that the fabric had, and attaching them on top of each other to create this kind of 3D texture. And as well as this shape here, everything was cut by hand and sewn by hand.
Wow. So how do you figure out, and Janet L said, how do you figure out how to price your garments? Especially when you talk about 20 yards and a month to make it, how do you price couture?
Yes, it's always a very hard, hard thing to do, a hard question to answer as well, because depends, some brides come to me with a budget, and then I have to work, around their budget. I have to find fabric that of course looks luxurious and beautiful, but is cheaper. And then I have some clients who, they just want a beautiful dress. They don't care how much you spend for a yard of fabric. I usually, what I do is I go with my client fabric shopping, and they take care of the fabric expenses, and the rest is just at the price that I give to them. This is also a good thing to do, especially if you're not sure how much to charge, or if you're not sure what fabric, what quality fabric the bride is gonna like. It all depends. I hope I answered your question. It's very difficult to give a great answer. It all depends, it all depends on the budget of the bride. And I usually, if I have a client, I want that client to come back to me for another dress. So I always try to work with her, I always try. It's very important also the way you talk to your clients and the way you treat them. So I'll always try, even if I'm not spending that amount of money on the fabric, I always try to find good prices, good deals on the fabrics, even though, someone else is paying for that, for example. I hope I answered your question.
Yes, absolutely.
And then this is another project that I did. This dress here was an engagement dress. It was, it took me about almost 3 weeks to finish it, because all of these details here on the bottom, all the flowers were added individually to create this kind of effect that, she wanted to have for her dress. And then I also made another dress, which is, which you could wear it as a guest to the wedding. Of course, not to the same wedding, but to a different wedding. And then the flower girl, or, the daughter of the mother who's wearing the dress, just, matching.
I love it. I'm obsessed with this collection here. Obsessed.
Thank you. And this is another of my favorite dresses that I designed. It has, it is a princess style. What I like about it is that you can also wear it as an A-line, more relaxed design style, where I included some pictures here. So basically, if you're going to a gala event, or I don't know, a wedding, my community has big weddings, so they all want to look great and wear big dresses and fancy dresses. So she was going to one of those weddings, and so this is another more relaxed fit of it, where she just decided to do a photo shoot because she loved the dress, and she went to Turkey, so she took the dress with her to do a photo shoot.
And so you basically removed the petticoat from underneath.
Yes, exactly.
Wow, so beautiful.
Yeah, the petticoat, I made the petticoat detachable. I usually, when I design clothes, I try to be innovative. I try, especially, dresses that cost a lot of money. If you're paying a huge amount of money, I try to, make it worth, like the wedding dress that I showed you, the 3-in-1. You can have a different style. You're paying the money, but then you're having 2 dresses, or you're having 3 dresses. So
Right.
this was also the same idea. Okay, now I'm gonna talk about, this one is my favorite, not one of my, but this one is my favorite project. All of them are my favorite projects, I'm sorry.
I know. How do you choose? It's like choosing which child you love more.
Yes, exactly. So this was for my capstone when I graduated from a FIT with my associates. We had to, back then I was taking online classes. So we had to just use whatever we had at home. The theme was reuse, recycle. So I'm subscribed to Vogue magazines, and I said, what can I do? Something different. And I said, okay, I'm just going to take pages from Vogue magazines, and I'm going to make a dress out of that. So what I did is, here, as you can see, I glued all pages together. And after that, the next step was interfacing. So I basically created panels, a bunch of panels, and I interfaced them. And if you pay close attention to this picture, you will see there is a layer of tulle on top of the pages. So the paper was sandwiched between the interfacing, the fusible, and the tulle to kind of give it more structure, because of course, if you're sewing paper, it's going to rip. It was very challenging because one wrong seam, I had to start all over because, the paper ripped. So I created a bunch of these panels, and I made this dress. Also, another thing that I paid close attention is what pages I was choosing from the magazines, because I wanted the colors to flow. So that was a whole different, yes, that was
I
a
was
whole,
just thinking that because if you like you said, because it's paper, once you sew it, that hole doesn't go away. So yeah, you didn't want to sew, ruin the wrong panel because then your color story might have been off.
yes.
Amazing.
I had to sit down and just, choose the color story, go through all pages, choose a color story, put them together. But when I saw it on the model, I said, okay, okay,
Worth
was
it.
it? And these are some other shots. Oh yeah, the dress is also all lined. It has a lining, it has a corset, and it has a zipper as well.
Wow.
Yes.
And I think it's really important to say that this was 2000, this is during the height of the pandemic when you couldn't get supplies and even the street looks empty, right?
Yes. Mm-hmm.
So this was innovative in and of itself by using materials that, found materials that you had and also upcycling at the same time.
Yes, correct.
Robin is shouting through the chat saying that this is gorgeous, and it is. It's
Oh, thank you so much.
breathtaking.
Thank you. Appreciate it. And this is one of my latest projects. I included it just, to talk about the process of it. I also painted the fabric. It's a pure shaped inspired design, and I decided to paint the fabric, paint the panels, and create this corseted look, which looks a little bit also futuristic.
Yeah, definitely looks futuristic. And so, but that's regular fabric, this one.
Yes.
Amazing.
And then this is also one of my latest projects that I did is a two-piece. It's the same fabric that I used for the dresses that I showed previously. I realized people love this fabric, and I said, I want to create something more, because when I know, when I know my clients love something, I try to, come up with something that I know they already like, but also something different. So I decided to do this two-piece outfit and also sell it online, which has been good. I realized people buy easier two pieces, especially nowadays. It's very easy, to match it with shoes and go out on a rooftop and just have a drink with it. It is different, but it's something that you could wear it. It's just unique. It's not like any other piece you would see a girl wearing when she goes on to have a drink in a rooftop or somewhere.
Obsessed. And Carlos had mentioned about your Vogue dress that it's just the whole thing is just amazing. So I want to make that comment while we're still there.
Thank you. Okay, so this is, I can say so far, the highlight of my experiences in the fashion industry. This is a dress that was showcased for Macy's flower show, this year's Macy's flower show. I'm doing my bachelor's at FIT right now. I'm specializing for special occasion, evening wear and bridal. So they usually team up with Macy's for their annual Macy's flower show, and they come up with contests for students who would like to participate. And I was chosen one of the finalists to show my design. The design was inspired from the geometric shapes they had this year, and of course, spring flowers and bold colors. So I came up with this design. It's one piece that goes all around. It starts from here, from the front, and then goes in the back here, and then comes again in the front and goes like this. And then the flowers come from the back. And I would like to show you a video where you could see the process of me creating the dress. Sorry, I'm distracted by this red line here. I don't know if you guys can see it.
It's okay.
A red line here.
Yeah, I see it. It's Don't
I
worry.
don't know what happened. Okay. So,
Nothing like I've ever seen. It's just a thing of beauty. It's just a thing of beauty. It's just a thing of beauty. Let's get lost in this wonderland. See it all, we don't need a plan. Nothing like I've ever seen. It's just a thing of beauty.
So I think that even for students that are just coming in, look at how relevant your, just even having the video and having your process as part of it is huge. And I think it's a good point that, you mentioned, so you came from another country, and we have a huge global citizenship at NYSD. So I think that's really important. And then you came here from another country, brand new, started, and within 2 years showed in New York Fashion Week, had an exhibit with press, and networked with people within the industry. And then once you did that, it seems to me that you're a lifelong student. And no matter what, you wanted to further your craft and hone in on your school skills. And we do have a lot of people that come to NYSD because they want to perhaps get to a matriculated college like Parsons or FIT, and we work with them so that we can help them, give them the foundations, give them the skills that they need so that they could go ahead and move on to where they want to go. So I just feel like this whole example, like your entire presentation so far, I have chills because you are like the poster child of what I talk to students about when they're interested. They're like, hey, you know what? COVID happened. I'm an accountant. It's not really what I want to do. I always wanted to be a designer. I used to tear up clothes and make doll clothes. And I want to come to New York School of Design, and then look at what you can accomplish in just a few years with hard work and dedication. It's simply amazing. And okay, so to this show, so you were one of the winners for the Macy's Flower Show. Yes. And
yes.
so were you working with silks? These were obviously silk flowers, right? Because you didn't.
Mhm. Yeah, I've considered using natural flowers, but the exhibition was 2 weeks long.
Yeah.
So I was worried the flowers are going to die and the dress is not going to look good. So I decided to use silk flowers. Even though, I decided to use silk flowers, it took me a while to choose something that looks natural, something that matches the dress, and also something that matches the interior of Macy's, because they had this whole idea going on. So it was quite challenging to find something, that looks natural and also like follow all the rules that I wanted to to be followed.
And did you know what the set or the visual merchandising aspect would look like in the final? Did you know that when you did this, you could see that this is your original sketch on the right, correct?
Yes.
So did you know what the background of Macy's would look like, or did they adhere it to what the ones that were chosen?
We were shown the colors that we're going to use and the shapes that were going to be used inside Macy's. So based on the colors that they showed us and the shapes, I designed it. But everything else, like the background of, where they placed my dress and the flowers that are, down, they inserted that after, after I sent them my design to them.
Wow. And so we saw you at the fabric store in the video. Are you a kind of person that sketches first and then goes to the fabric store, or do you go to the fabric store to get inspired and then sketch?
I don't know how to sketch before going to the fabric store. The fabric store is where I find my inspiration. The fabrics is where I get my inspiration. And I would love to sometimes do it the other way around, but it just doesn't work for me. I just, I like to find the fabric that really, catches my attention, and from that it's very easy for me to come up with a design, a topic, a concept to make either a one piece or a collection or whatever that is.
And then if we brought that like a few steps further and we saw your last slide with the red two-piece that I'm obsessed with, M. Ramirez asked, where do you find the photographer and the models that you use? And I think that that's a really great question to a lot of the young designers that are either coming into NYSD, have moved on, or are just doing it now.
Networking is very, very important, socializing with people, meeting new people. All the photographers that I use for my photo shoots are people that, I either met them, once, and we stayed in touch, we stayed in contact, and, I like to do collaborations with different photographers, and also like models, friends and agencies. It depends. The most important thing is if you meet someone new, and especially someone that does the same thing or is in the same field as you are, fashion industry, photographer, model, always stay in touch with them. And nowadays is all about, people want to come up with something new. It never hurts for you to reach out to someone, to a photographer that you met a couple of years ago, and say, hey, do you want to do a collaboration together? I have some new pieces that I just designed, and you would be surprised. They also want to work with you. They also want to work with designers. So it's always good to stay in touch with people that you meet.
Yeah. And so we had Charlene M that asked, how do you contact another designer and use one of their pieces and maybe to incorporate it? So I kind of feel like that piggybacks off of what M. Ramirez has mentioned.
Yes, absolutely. Knowing a photographer, of course, that person is going to know other designers as well. Of course, that person is going to know other stylists. Working with a stylist, it's his or her job, to be in touch with designers. So basically just collaborating, just working together with photographers, stylists brings more connections, helps you meet new people, helps you meet new designers. But also social media nowadays, again, I'm saying it doesn't hurt to reach out to people. It's better if you try and it doesn't work out than saying, oh, I wish I tried. So just,
Exactly.
reaching out to people.
Yeah. So social media, I mean, right now, like what I'm hearing from you and what I hear from a lot is that collaboration is key. And when you are actually collaborating with other designers, you're sharing contacts, right? So when you share contacts, your following is going to grow. Perhaps you're going to get in front of a new target market that you didn't know was even there or existing for you because you guys are collaborating together. So you should never really be afraid to approach other designers because working together is only going to expand your markets.
It is very
awesome. And Vukosi had asked, how do you attract buyers?
Okay, so in my case, it is a little bit different because I shifted, especially lately, I shifted my focus on custom made orders and especially working with one-on-one with clients. It's very important to, doesn't matter what you're creating, just pay attention to details, to even the smallest detail, because you never know what a client is looking for. So I just try to do the job as good as possible. And it's basically, in my case, I'm talking again, is word of mouth. I make a dress for one person, someone else sees the dress, I post it, people see it, they reach out to me. Social media nowadays is number one. And, you know, just people just knowing me, again, networking is very important. People will recommend you to other people. This is how I myself, you know, get clients, and in this case, my buyers who buy my stuff.
Yeah, and like you said, social media, word of mouth. Word of mouth is like, I think I read some sort of crazy statistic with McKinsey that said word of mouth is like a $486 billion industry when you think about it, because here we are, we're influenced by not these huge gatekeepers anymore, but by social media influencers. And those people are not even necessarily the big ones that we trust. We trust the small influencers, our friends, our family, our fans, and that kind of word of mouth. And that's why I interrupted your whole presentation by asking you this question, because I felt like it really rode off of the previous questions, because that is the way to do it in this in 2022, this networking, this social aspect, right? Like, I think most of us here can say that if we haven't bought something over social media, we've at least thought about it, and it's come in front of us because perhaps we were looking up something similar, and then all of a sudden we get these targeted ads now. So I just think it's super interesting that it's really important for word of mouth in this day and age, because we don't trust the glossy magazines as much as we used to. Now we could use the glossy magazines to actually make the fashion. You know, not necessarily advertise it, but yeah, definitely word of mouth. I hear you on that.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. So as of now, everything that I showed you, I make everything myself. I source the fabric. Everything is in New York, sourcing, making it, everything here. You know, I do everything myself. My plan for the future, for a near future, hopefully, is to open my own showroom, have a small place somewhere. Planning, probably it's going to be in the garment district, like an office space, preferably what do you call this, storefront, but I would like to, you know, to take it one step at a time. I think for the beginning, I would like to just find an office space and turn it into like a little luxurious space where I can have my clients come in and just consult with me, as well as I want to have some ready pieces that, you know, clients could just buy them off the rack. It is, you know, it is a plan that I'm hoping to start working on it soon. As of now, I do everything from home. And, you know, I do everything myself, but important is to, you know, just love what you do. And, you know, it doesn't matter how busy you are, doesn't matter how many orders you have, you will still not be stressed out because you're just doing some myself. If I'm working on a dress, I don't see it as a work, as a job. I see it as, you know, my relaxing time. And sometimes I go for 12 hours straight just working, and I don't even feel that I'm tired, because just I enjoy the process.
Wow. And so did you always know that you wanted to do, and somebody asked this, Barbara L, did you know you wanted to do specialty apparel? Like when you started, when you first came to New York School of Design, what were you thinking? What was your thought process?
Not quite. I started at New York School of Design making, you know, just casual day-to-day wear clothes. And once the opportunity of the New York Fashion Week presented to me, and I started getting into the inspiration for my collection, I just, the evening gowns just came so natural. Like the inspiration for the evening gowns just came so natural to me. It wasn't forced at all. That's when I realized that, you know, this is what I want to focus on, because it comes very natural. Not saying that, you know, designing a collection which is you know, a casual, it doesn't come natural to me, but the evening wear is just something that I prefer. So to answer your question, no, I didn't know. I didn't know that I wanted to do just special occasion wear, but you find yourself, you have to give yourself some time, especially if it's the beginning for you, especially if you're just starting a fashion design course. That's why you're going to that's why you're attending a fashion design school, to help you figure out who you are as a designer, and from there you start understanding yourself, you start understanding what you like more, what you don't like more, what you prefer, what you don't prefer.
Yeah.
So New
Yeah,
York's
and-
design kind of helped me, that occasion, the New York's the fashion week helped me determine, who I want to be as a designer in the future.
Wow, amazing. So what Brianna C said, what advice would you give someone who wanted to start their own brand?
Mhm. Okay. You have to love what you do, because, owning a brand, it's a reflection of who you are as a designer. And, if you want your brand to be successful, you have to put so much work to it. You have to be so committed. You have to be so determined to achieve success. And, it's going to be a long hours of work. It's your thing. It's your identity. It's your brand. You cannot say, oh, I have a day off today. You don't have days off, because you promised your clients a dress, and you can't just go and tell her, I'm sorry, I didn't finish it on time. It's your responsibility. You are responsible for, the promises that you make to people. So the advice is just, make sure that fashion design is your passion, and make sure that you want to do that. Make sure that you want to put a lot of hours, a lot of work into it.
Amazing. So just before we end, we're really conscious of your time, and we really appreciate that you spent this time with us and answered the questions. And Mel had said that, everything you can achieve once you take the first step, right? And that's what we say. That's our hashtag, fashion starts here. And I think it's true, because you see your trajectory over the past 6 years, and you're still going, you're still perfecting your craft, you're still honing in on the things that you want to do. But Susan T said, how do you describe couture? So you are a couturier, right? And so can you, for those people that don't know, or maybe haven't started foundation or in foundation right now, could you explain that to them?
Yeah. Yes, of course. For me, so yes, I describe myself as a couturier, because again, from zero to the end, I take care of everything. It's very important. Even one stitch is important. How you stitch that stitch, how you place one applique. You have to pay attention to every single detail. Also, very important for you is to understand your client, to understand your customer. To know what she wants. How she feels about the design that you're designing for her. It's more hours than if you were just to make, something that is not couture. Yeah, it just, that extra attention that you have to put, that you have to have the eye for it. You have to, things have to bother you. You have to be a perfectionist to be a couturier, because,
And I noticed you're like making the fabric, in the sense that you're taking existing textiles, right? But then you're layering it and creating the design, not only the silhouette, but the actual design within the design.
Yeah,
right?
It's all about being a perfectionist. Like, things need to bother you, like some little things, even if other people, don't see those details, you still have to take care of those details, because everything adds at the end, everything adds up. That's what makes the dress look the way it looks, because you paid attention to the smallest details possible. even though it takes you extra time, you just have to be, also another thing, you have to be extra patient. You have to have so much patience because, you know, of all like little things that you have to deal with.
Like
I hope I
bees.
answered your question.
Thank you so much. So I know you have another slide. Is there a way that people could get in touch with you, or do you have your social media on there? That
Yes. Yeah, I do. I'm going to share everything with you right now. Just one of another slide that I put here is, you know, who I am, you know, who my brand is. So I'm a high-end brand that focuses on designing and selling elegant evening dresses, casual dresses, red carpet dresses, and bridal dresses. I can say my brand was founded in 2015 when I started New York School of Design. As I mentioned earlier, I created dresses for dolls ever since I was a little girl. So I'm very dedicated, and, you know, just, you know, I feel like I have accomplished many things so far, but I know there are bigger things for me in the future. As I said, you just have to have the will to do it, and you can achieve anything you want. And then my customers, I don't have just, you know, one type of customers. I have customers from women of all ages, you know, the designs that I try to make for them, you know, I don't only try to like fit their requirements, but I try to exceed their requirements. I always try. My goal is for them to come to me and say, oh, this is better than what I expected it to be.
I think that comes through in your designs.
And then I have my mission and guidelines, and this is my social media, my email, my website. If you have a question or anything, please feel free to contact me, either social media or email. I would love to answer any questions that, you know, I'm able to answer, and, you know, any help that you might need for your future, maybe attending New York School of Design, you know, any insights that you would need, feel free to contact me. I'll try to help.
Thank you so much, Larglinda. This was absolutely amazing. I really appreciate, we all really appreciate your time, your energy, your expertise, the beauty that you're sharing with all of us. I put your social media in the chat. I'm going to put your email in the chat, and I will make sure that the script from this chat goes out so that if anybody does want to get in contact, they know how to reach you.
Thank you so much. Thank you to all of you who attended. I really appreciate your time, and thank you for listening. It was a pleasure to share my experiences with you, and yeah.
Everyone's thanking you. Thank you so much, Larglinda.
you.
Look at us, 6:59. We've ended
Yes.
perfect.
Thank
Thank
you
you,
for being
everybody.
here.
We
It was
really
great.
appreciate it.
Great. Thank you so much. You all have a great night.
Good luck.
Thank you. You too.
Bye.
Bye.
Bye.